Dune director Denis Villeneuve says that Star Wars lost its elegance after The Empire Strikes Back. Here's his words in my voice. There's something about The Empire Strikes Back, the darkness of it, the tragic elements of it, the way I was feeling in that precise moment about Star Wars. There was something really serious about it that I deeply loved. In its darkness, in the way it was approaching the psychological path of Luke Skywalker, and I just feel like they lost that after. They lost that elegance. I never left Star Wars left me. We'll dig into that in a moment. I want to know if you think Star Wars lost its elegance after Empire. First of all, he has made no secret that Star Wars, pre-Return of the Jedi at least, massively influenced him as a science fiction fan and also a filmmaker as well. And of course, you have to remember, Dune helped shape Star Wars. Would we even have a Star Wars without Frank Herbert's Dune? Maybe not as we know it. You could call George Lucas a student of Herbert. There are so many influences and similarities. Most simply, Lucas could well have looked to the adventures on Arrakis of Paul Atreides when crafting Luke Skywalker and his path. I mean, just look at Arrakis and Tatooine. But that's another video or two or three to go into the influences, and that's not what this is about. Dune definitely came before Star Wars, but you could say, I think, that Star Wars wrote the book for big screen science fiction spectacle. So now you're going to see comparisons the other way around with the release of the new Dune, Villeneuve's Dune. So back to his comments. Do you think Star Wars lost its elegance after Empire? Now, we can't 100% say that what he said is specifically directed at certainly the sequels, the prequels, or even Return of the Jedi, but you have to assume he is talking about Return of the Jedi. And he wouldn't be the only one, to have not have been so fond of Jedi back in the day. Personally, I love Jedi. Jabba's palace is just fun. Everything with Luke, Vader, and Palpatine is brilliant. So I would say it's probably the least elegant of the original trilogy, but I don't think it lost its elegance. I think it still has elegance in its own way. I mean, it's a different movie. For starters, I don't think I've ever said elegance so much.
Elegant.
Villeneuve started it, but as I discussed in a recent video, link in description, I now think the prequels have their own beautiful elegance, something I wasn't always fully on board with. But many didn't like Jedi as much as what came before back in the day. Some say it was the beginning of the end of Star Wars, which is kind of what Villeneuve is saying. And there's no denying there was a change in direction from Empire to Jedi. In fact, this change in direction led to the separation of Lucas and producer Gary Kurtz, who saw how the toy market basically changed Lucas's original plan for Jedi into a more upbeat toy-selling vehicle. Here are some of his words now, still in my voice. I could see where things were headed. The toy business began to drive the Lucasfilm empire. It's a shame. They make 3 times as much on the toys as they do on the films. It's natural to make decisions that protect the toy business, but that's not the best thing for making quality films. So I was not alive when Jedi came out, but I saw it as a kid and I was captivated. I still really enjoy it to this day. Grown-up me would of course be interested to see Lucas's original darker version, which Gary Kurtz has talked about in some detail. And this version may well have continued the tone, the elegance of Empire to a maybe more satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. We will never know. I'm happy with what we got. I don't think Star Wars ever lost its elegance. It just adapted. It just changed. And not everybody's on board with change. That's life. There are many opinions out there, and not all are the same. Who knew? But I would say Villeneuve should watch The Mandalorian. I think he'd like it. Don't know the guy, but I think he might like it for some of those early Star Wars spirit vibes. They're definitely there. And that's my Jerry Springer final thought. Let me know what you think. And thank you to all Patreon members and you for watching.